Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of Let's Talk Cloud Season 3. I'm Akshay, and today we continue our cloud journey with Swapnil Pradhan, who is Senior Solution Architect at Zensar Technologies. Swapnil, in our last episode, we discussed the Cloud Migration Factory Framework. Today, let's dive deeper into cloud strategy. Can you brief us on these topics and how can Zensar assist?
Sure. Thank you, Akshay. Happy to be again here. Um, when we're talking about the cloud strategy or the assessment aspect of it, right, there are five things those are very, very important. One is we've talked about it in our last episode as well is do I really know the business vision? Do we really have a sense of what all applications that we are looking at which needs to be migrated? It is important for us to understand that application inventory. The next aspect is when that application is being identified, do we really know how they would get moved, right? We all know from a migration perspective, there are these different 7 Rs that we look at when rationalizing these applications. This rationalization is important because that basically bring in the cost efficiency aspect. We'll talk about it later, but the 7 Rs strategy is the key to identify how an application which is currently on your on-premise moves over to the cloud, how that would look like, how modernized it would be so that it can, stay ahead of the game for the next subsequent years together. So it is important to understand that and rationalize those applications based on the information that we have and the strategy we want to use to move that application. The next important aspect is once we've identified, okay, these are the 100 applications that needs to be moved. Out of these needs to be moved into a lift and shift fashion. Certain maybe needs to be containerized. We need to identify the right set of move groups to understand how this progression would happen. Are there any low-hanging fruits that needs to be moved first to understand how these the factory can be then modeled out and tuned out for the specific needs of the client, right? Once we have that defined roadmap, then it comes to about working out with the client to understand if there are any other additional prioritization exercise that needs to happen, how these applications would once move to cloud would be managed by the operations team. So it is important to understand also at that particular point in time how the operations procedures are and how that transition would happen, right? And that's where it is very critical to look at all of these aspects in totality to assess these applications or workloads, whatever we are trying to do, to migrate them into the cloud.
Swapnil, your insights into cloud migration strategy are invaluable. Now, can you help us? How does this help in cloud cost efficiency?
Sure, absolutely. The primary aspect of doing this cloud, everybody wants to move to cloud to gain efficiency from a scalability perspective, from the cost perspective. It is an important factor. How we are kind of trying to look at the cost efficiency is by looking at how these applications needs to be rationalized. Do I really need to use the same configuration that I had it on the on-premise onto the cloud, or do I really need to look at the matrix to understand is that the right fit that I am using so that I'm moving the application? Can I save certain cost? Moving to cloud, of course, has a cost aspect and it has to be looked at the time of the strategy itself, so that when you are doing the whole rationalization and the roadmap, you need to exactly know how it is going to be, what's your total cost of ownership or the TCO as we call it would factor in when these applications move over. So what we do as part of that assessment is try and as much as possible gather the information and try and project the forecast to see what that cloud cost is going to be, how we can put in maybe certain FinOps practices if those are missing in the foundation aspect of it to really help bring in that cost effectiveness to this whole cloud migration experience.
Excellent. It's clear that having a structured approach and the right partner can make all the difference in cloud migration journey. Thank you.
Absolutely. And we at Zensar are very happy to kind of help and already helping our clients move their infrastructures or move their applications from on-premises onto the different chosen cloud providers. A well-planned migration will lead you to increased cost efficiency and bring in maximum utilization of your resources to help you move from your on-premises to the cloud.
Thank you, Swapnil.